Emperor Xingqian, who once stood at the pinnacle of the god realm, was betrayed by his own fiancée, who colluded with enemies to backstab him. This caused Emperor Xingqian's divine soul to drift in the void for 80,000 years. Fortunately, he was able to return once more. However, the heavenly Tao, knowing how to toy with people, had Emperor Xingqian's divine soul unintentionally possess the body of a good-for-nothing. Yet the hatred, the grand quest for vengeance, and the path back to the god realm could not stop here. He swore that on the day he returned to the god realm, he would crush that treacherous pair to avenge the hatred of the past 80,000 years. Yang Chen returned home, much to his own delight, leaving even his father bewildered and clueless about what was happening. A giant question mark formed over his father's head. Why had his son, upon returning home today, even known how to cultivate? Ignoring his father's suspicion, Yang Chen quickly locked the door and drew the curtains, like someone preparing for some clandestine activity. However, Yang Chen was different. He opened his pouch, revealing a host of rare medicinal ingredients he had prepared. Without further ado, Yang Chen sat down directly on the ground, circulated and controlled his qi, let out a soft cry, and a cluster of exotic flame immediately appeared. Exotic flames were rare. Only grandmasters or peerless geniuses could possess them. Yet, Yang Chen shook his head wearily, a helpless smile on his face, remembering that in his previous life, his spirit flame could cover an entire forest. But now it was just this tiny wisp of flame. There was no other way but to accept reality. Yang Chen quickly began refining pills. Each medicinal ingredient was swiftly and carefully handled and refined by his hands. The medicinal fragrance pervaded the entire room. In the center sat Yang Chen, cross-legged, concentrating as much as possible as the ingredients rapidly melded together. Suddenly, Yang Chen's eyes snapped open. This was the crucial moment for pill formation. Success or failure hinged on this. Yet, for a supreme expert who once stood at the world's apex, this was not difficult at all. The Azure Heaven White Unique Art was deployed. With just a clap of his hands, all the ingredients fused, forming a pill of the highest grade. Having successfully refined the Fire Jade Glaze pill, Yang Chen hastily swallowed it while it was still hot. The potent spiritual qi from the medicinal ingredients surged directly into his body. Yang Chen inwardly marveled. The Azure Heaven White Unique Art, ranked 17th in the 100 methods of pill refining, is truly formidable. Now, it's time to break through the bottleneck. An expression of confidence was evident on Yang Chen's face. Outside, his father was diligently cleaning the courtyard. It took him several hours to make the place spotlessly clean. However, from within the small room, the immense power emanating from Yang Chen caused the entire estate to shake violently, enveloped in dust and debris. His father was stunned, speechless by this sight, gritting his teeth in anger, his fury palpable, yet he couldn't utter a word. Inside the room, Yang Chen, still unaware of the impending disaster, was joyfully self-satisfied. 4th level martial artist, Li Ling. Just you wait for me. Rewind a few days prior. The current Yang Chen was not the Yang Chen of before, but the soul of a mighty being. A soul that had drifted in the void for 80,000 years had finally escaped. 80,000 years had passed, but he still hadn't forgotten his grudge against the Hongshen fairy. For the sake of the sovereign's position, she had forsaken their spousal affection and collaborated with outsiders to harm him. Without hesitation, the nameless celestial emperor flew straight toward the mortal realm. He mused to himself, "In such a vast world, I will surely find a suitable body to possess." Looking down from above, Li Ling was stepping directly on the blood-soaked body of Yang Chen. He spoke contemptuously. "Yang Chen, you lowly servant, daring to compete with me for a woman? You must be tired of living." Beside him, Miao Shui clung coquettishly to Li Ling's arm, cooing sweetly and fawningly. "Brother Ling, you hit him well. This useless trash was already rejected by me, yet he still dared to bother me." Buoyed by the girl's praise, Li Ling smugly reassured her, "Rest assured, my dear, as Li Ling's woman, no one will dare to harass you again." The celestial emperor's soul, treading on air, rubbed his chin, pondering. This Li Ling seems to be a young master from a wealthy family. His background must be quite strong, but his methods are rather common. He clicked his tongue. Well, it's flawed, but better than nothing. My path of revenge will start with him. The celestial emperor's soul dived straight down, intending to take over Li Ling's body, but Li Ling suddenly turned, causing the emperor to lose control and plummet to the ground, almost possessing the dying Yang Chen beside him. The celestial emperor's soul sighed in relief. "That was close. I almost possessed this good for nothing." However, man proposes, heaven disposes. A gentle breeze blew past. Being too weak, the soul was swept away by the wind and entered directly into Yang Chen's body. While Li Ling and that vixen Miao Shui turned to leave amidst the murmurs of the crowd, the celestial emperor's soul was merging with and simultaneously healing Yang Chen's injuries. After it was complete, Yang Chen shot up, angrily cursing the cruel twist of fate. His words also attracted the attention of Li Ling, who was walking ahead. He and Miao Shui turned around, their faces filled with surprise, not understanding how someone beaten to within an inch of his life could still stand up. Ignoring Li Ling's gaze, Yang Chen, or rather the Celestial Emperor's soul, could have wept a river. To choose a genius's body, then rise up powerfully and step by step seek revenge. A perfect plan with no flaws, and yet it's all gone to hell. Yang Chen resentfully pointed straight at Li Ling and roared, "It's all your fault, you damn mutt." Li Ling, being cursed by the good-for-nothing, gritted his teeth in anger and threw a punch, lunging forward. "Wasn't the lesson I taught you just now enough? This brat really wants to die." Facing Li Ling's attack, Yang Chen gathered his chi, also preparing to launch a move to send his opponent flying, still muttering under his breath, "Was I wrong to curse you, you impudent brat? My 80,000-year plan was ruined by you." As he finished speaking, the two fists collided. A flash of light erupted, and Li Ling was directly knocked backward. All the onlookers were left speechless with amazement. Having lost face before the murmuring crowd, Li Ling began to flare up, his whole body seemingly enveloped by the flames of his anger. "A lowly servant like you dares to be so disrespectful and even attack me? If I don't cripple you today, I'll no longer be called Li Ling." Yang Chen sneered contemptuously, waggling his finger provocatively. "If you're so good, come at me then." Yang Chen was about to unleash the Celestial Emperor's ultimate technique, but this trash body couldn't withstand the strain. At that moment, Li Ling had already rushed right in front of him. Yang Chen stood rooted to the spot, stunned. He, the Emperor within, thought to himself, "Oh, damn it, if this punch lands, I'll really be crippled." Suddenly, a palm appeared out of nowhere and blocked Li Ling's fist. This made both him and Yang Chen stare wide-eyed in surprise. A young woman stood blocking his path, speaking clearly. "Li Ling, this is a school. Personal fights are forbidden." Li Ling was not one to be trifled with. He pointed and shouted, "Ling Yujiao, do you want to protect this good-for-nothing?" Ling Yujiao's beautiful face was resolute. "Yang Chen is my classmate. As class president, I have a responsibility to protect everyone. If you're not afraid of breaking school rules, then try and make a move." Li Ling was resentful, his fists clenched, but he could do nothing. He had to turn and leave, but not without a warning for Yang Chen. "Yang Chen, just you wait. I'll make you regret this." He and the vixen Miao Shui disappeared into the distance, still embracing and fawning over each other. However, what Yang Chen was interested in wasn't that despicable couple, but Ling Yujiao's flawless white thighs, without a single blemish. To Yang Chen, it was no different from a glimpse of the Penglai immortal realm. Yang Chen was utterly mesmerized, unable to take his eyes off those slender thighs. His nose was bleeding profusely, his face flushed, and his breathing became ragged. Yet Ling Yujiao thought Yang Chen was injured and gently asked, "Are you all right?" In response to her sincere inquiry, Yang Chen grinned lewdly and replied, "Pink eyebrows? I like them." Ling Yujiao blushed crimson, plopped down on the ground, and covered her sensitive area with her hands. Seeing the awkward situation, he resorted to feigning injury, collapsing to the ground as if unconscious. Seeing this, Ling Yujiao didn't overthink it. She called two nearby servants to help, instructing them to take Yang Chen home carefully. As Yang Chen was being carried away, Ling Yujiao helplessly held her head and lamented to herself. A second-level martial artist, only 18 years old, and no one in the entire school dares to touch him, yet he still shamelessly goes around provoking people. Being this class president is truly difficult. Lying on the stretcher, being carried away, Yang Chen overheard every word Ling Yujiao said. He hadn't expected that he, the former Emperor Xing Chen, whose mere name once made countless people tremble, would one day be ridiculed for his low cultivation realm. Suddenly, he sat up, much to the confusion of the two servants. He thought to himself, "The first thing is to quickly improve my strength." No sooner said than done, he immediately ran through the streets, searching for medicinal ingredients. Back to the present. Before he could even rejoice in his newly advanced cultivation, his father kicked open the door and rushed in angrily. Without needing an explanation, he grabbed a broom and whacked his son on the head. Truly, even a celestial emperor could be beaten by his father just like anyone else. That night, only Yang Chen's terrified screams for help echoed. Scene change. At the Li family's banquet hall, tables laden with sumptuous food had been prepared. Yang Chen and his father walked in amidst the hushed whispers of the crowd. They gathered in groups of 3 or 5, whispering to each other about the recent hot gossip. "Have you heard that Yang Chen is about to be kicked out?" Someone in the crowd continued. "His father had a hard time getting him into the Heavenly Star Academy, but he's a complete dunce." This group not only badmouthed him behind his back, but also said it to his face. "Yang Chen, a good-for-nothing, is a good-for-nothing. No matter where he is, he can't achieve anything." Hearing these words, he felt quite annoyed and snorted coldly. "Later, you all will have your eyes opened." Yang Chen's father, standing beside him, had a fiery temper. He gritted his teeth, his killing intent almost palpable. Seeing this, Yang Chen intervened. "Let it go, father. They're just a bunch of petty people. Why bother with them?" Suddenly a voice called from behind. "Young Master Li." This also attracted the surprised attention of Yang Chen and his father. Li Ling, with an arrogant expression, walked in with Miao Shui still by his side, looking down on everyone. As soon as he saw Li Ling, Yang Chen's father immediately went forward to greet him. He bowed slightly, showing his utmost respect. "Greetings, young Master Li." However, the response was an ice-cold demeanor. Li Ling didn't even bother to look down or greet him back, directly making his demand. "Uncle Yang, cancel the engagement between your son and Miao Shui." Li Ling's words struck Yang Chen's father like a thunderclap. He stammered, "What? But they're about to get married? This is very difficult." Hearing this, Miao Shui sneered. "Uncle Yang, don't you understand yet? You are a lowly servant, and your son is just a good-for-nothing. He is fundamentally unworthy of me." The bald Yao Xiong, Miao Shui's father, had an extremely cunning expression. He continued his daughter's words. "Old Yang, you should know your place. Your useless son is not worthy of my little Shu." Uncle Yang couldn't bear it anymore. He immediately strode forward, grabbed Yao Xiong by the collar, and yelled straight into his face, "Yao Xiong, you bastard!" Seeing this, Li Ling pushed Uncle Yang's hand away. "Trying to cause trouble on the Li family's territory? Don't you know your own status?" Without waiting for Uncle Yang's reply, Li Ling gathered firepower in his hand and aimed straight at Uncle Yang's face. Unexpectedly, a hand firmly gripped Li Ling's wrist, stopping him. He angrily turned his head, veins bulging on his face, to see who dared to stop him. It was none other than Yang Chen. He said in a stern voice, "You're the one who deserves a beating." Li Ling furiously roared, "This good-for-nothing dares to stop me? You're seeking death." Without much ado, the Pillar Star Fist technique was unleashed. Li Ling's entire body was enveloped in red flames. Yang Chen was no longer a soft persimmon either. He also erupted with power, ready to meet the attack head-on. Just as the two streams of spiritual energy, green and red, were about to collide, a weighty voice rang out, "All of you, stop!" Feeling that overwhelming pressure, both of them disengaged, not daring to act out of line. Everyone's attention turned towards the two people walking in. It was Li Chenghai, the Li family head. He said sternly, "What do you think this place is, that you dare to fight and even use martial techniques?" With the Li family head having spoken, Li Ling didn't dare to be presumptuous or act recklessly. He had no choice but to leave, not forgetting to remind Yang Chen, "Consider yourself lucky this time, but there won't be a next time." In his mind, Yang Chen chuckled disdainfully. "We'll see who's the lucky one." Meanwhile, the Li family head respectfully cupped his hands and apologized to Grandmaster Liu Yishui. "My young ones have been unruly and made a fool of themselves in front of you, Grandmaster. Please, come in." Grandmaster Liu Yishui didn't dwell on it and turned to enter. Hearing the name Grandmaster Liu Yishui, there was no shortage of whispers. "Is this Grandmaster Liu Yishui from the Pill Refiners Guild? I heard he's taken a liking to Li Ling's aptitude and wants to take him as a disciple." Many sycophants chimed in. Li Ling is indeed a genius, so he's about to join the Pill Refiners Guild. His future will surely be meteoric, like a kite in the wind. Compared to that good-for-nothing Yang Chen, they are truly worlds apart. Seeing it was too noisy below, the Li family head waved his hand, demanding silence from everyone. When that was done, he respectfully turned to Grandmaster Liu Yishui. "Master Liu, it's a rare opportunity to have you visit. Perhaps you could use this occasion to demonstrate your pill refining techniques and broaden our horizons." Grandmaster Liu Yishui took a sip of tea. He didn't refuse. "Since the Li family head values me so, then I shall be bold and display my meager skills." With that, he took out a cauldron from his storage pouch. As soon as the cauldron appeared, a golden light instantly illuminated the entire room. Everyone gasped in amazement. Some were seeing such a precious item for the first time. Li Ling, having some knowledge, immediately recognized it. "That's the Four Dragons Soaring Heaven Cauldron. It can rank among the top 5 in the entire Empire's Pill Refiners Guild." As soon as his words fell, many people gathered around, fawning. "Young Master Li, when you become Grandmaster Liu's esteemed disciple, please remember to look after us then." "Young Master Li? Don't pretend you don't know us in the future, okay?" Hearing such pleasing words, Li Ling laughed heartily and responded cheerfully, "Of course! How could I forget everyone?" Yang Chen stood to one side, not even bothering to glance at Li Ling. The only thing he paid attention to was Grandmaster Liu. He wanted to see what the skill level of today's pill refiners was like. Meanwhile, Grandmaster Liu had already begun the pill refining process. He summoned his spirit flame, directly burning beneath the cauldron. Seeing this, Yang Chen shook his head wearily. He can't even perform the most basic control of spirit flame. It seems the art of pill refining has truly declined. This attitude was inadvertently seen by Li Ling. He thought sinisterly, "Yang Chen, let's see if I don't sort you out this time." Li Ling pointed straight at Yang Chen and accused him. "Yang Chen, you good for nothing. What do you mean by shaking your head? Are you perhaps looking down on Grandmaster Liu's pill refining technique?" Hearing these words, Yang Chen and his father were rendered speechless, not knowing what to say. City Lord Li also questioned, A mere lowly servant dares to be disrespectful to Grandmaster Liu? Men, seize him. However, Grandmaster Liu called out to stop them. He, who had been sitting on his chair, stood up, staring intently at Yang Chen as he approached. The old man asked, "Little friend, is this old man's pill refining technique not to your liking?" Yang Chen smiled confidently and replied, "That's right, your pill refining technique is very careless." Yang Chen's words immediately caused a sensation. Countless curses were directed straight at him. Yang Chen's father also didn't understand his son. "Chener, what nonsense are you spouting? Hurry up and apologize to Grandmaster Liu." Li Ling continued to fish in troubled waters, saying to his father, "Father, these people have unfathomable intentions. They must be punished severely." Hearing this, City Lord Li ordered, "Men, take this fellow away." "Hold on," Grandmaster Liu interrupted again. "I want to hear your opinion on pill refining." Yang Chen didn't hesitate to enlighten the junior. He pointed towards the cauldron and stated clearly, "The 100 spirit grass is the key medicinal ingredient to gather for a divine pill, but it's not meant to be used like that." Grandmaster Liu's face darkened. He questioned, "Little friend, how do you explain these words?" Li Ling, beside him, still clung tightly to Yang Chen, refusing to let go. "Grandmaster Liu, this brat is just good at talking nonsense. Don't believe what he says." Miao Shui didn't forget to chime in. "That's right, he's just a good-for-nothing. How could he possibly understand what pill refining is?" Upon hearing this, Grandmaster Liu not only disagreed, but flew into a rage. He warned, "All of you, shut your mouths for me." Then, with a gentle attitude, he turned to Yang Chen. "Little friend, pay them no mind. Please continue." Yang Chen recited fluently, "The 100 spirit grass has too many impurities. If used directly, the refined pill will definitely have flaws." Just hearing this, Grandmaster Liu's eyes widened in astonishment. He, who held a high and lofty position, now bowed to Yang Chen, seeking guidance. "May Grandmaster enlighten Yishui?" This scene directly stunned everyone present. The group of juniors below couldn't believe that Grandmaster Liu Yishui would actually call Yang Chen Grandmaster. While he was a third-grade pill refiner, Yang Chen, in their eyes, was nothing more than a good-for-nothing. Yang Chen, with the soul of a celestial emperor, was not stingy and explained these basic concepts. "Just continue refining the pill according to my instructions." Liu Yishui cupped his hands respectfully and immediately resumed his pill refining work. He used his spirit flame to elevate the soaring heaven cauldron, then added a series of ingredients. Yang Chen instructed, "Don't use the 100 spirit grass for now. Continue with the others." Grandmaster Liu followed his instructions meticulously and continued refining. When the pill was almost formed, Yang Chen reminded him, "Now is the time to add the 100 spirit grass solution." Hearing this, the old man seemed to have an epiphany, but he didn't hesitate and quickly added the 100 spirit grass solution into the cauldron. A great phenomenon appeared as the pill was about to form. Once finished, the cauldron slowly descended to the ground. Everyone was once again treated to a spectacular sight. Even the Li father and son dared not speak. "The pill is refined. Open the cauldron. I want to see the result," Yang Chen urged. The cauldron lid was slowly opened by Grandmaster Liu. A golden light gradually emerged. Everyone thought it would be a heaven-defying pill, but who would have expected it to be nothing more than a lump of earth? Grandmaster Liu's face showed embarrassment. He suspected, could it be a failure? On the other side, Li Ling burst into loud laughter. "I told you! How could this incompetent Yang Chen know anything about pill refining? Now all the medicinal ingredients are ruined." Taking advantage of the situation, City Lord Li also ordered, "Men, quickly drag this brat down and punish him severely." However, before the Li father and son could rejoice, a golden light suddenly emerged from within that lump of earth. The clod of earth was slowly cracking open, and the pill appeared, its light incredibly dazzling. "This is a 4th-grade spirit-gathering pill." A torrent of whispers and doubts arose. "Isn't Grandmaster Liu a 3rd-grade pill master? How could he refine a 4th-grade pill? Could it be thanks to that brat Yang Chen?" Meanwhile, Grandmaster Liu was so agitated he was practically frozen, staring intently at the pill without end. Seeing Grandmaster Liu not acknowledging it, Li Ling ordered, "What nonsense are you all spouting? Men, drag Yang Chen down. Quickly!" Yang Chen glanced behind him and snorted coldly. Grandmaster Liu, also angered on Yang Chen's behalf, shouted loudly, "Insolent! All of you! Get out!" With just a gentle palm strike, the group of guards flew backward. This also tacitly acknowledged that the successful refinement of the pill was due to Yang Chen's contribution. It turned out that Yang Chen was not a good-for-nothing, but a hidden genius. Grandmaster Liu sent the crowd away, moving from one surprise to another. He cupped his hands respectfully, thanking Yang Chen for his guidance, and called him Grandmaster twice. Li Ling was dumbfounded. In just one night, the good-for-nothing Yang Chen, who was trampled upon by others, had now become a Grandmaster. Li Ling couldn't believe this was real. He asked again, "Grandmaster Liu, are you sure you're not mistaken? Yang Chen is just a useless person." Grandmaster Liu's face darkened. He growled 2 words, "Impudent brat." Li Ling's complexion immediately turned gloomy. Grandmaster Lo berated him. Brat! Grandmaster Yang is not someone you people can slander. Hurry up and apologize to him. Li Ling was deeply shocked. He slumped to the ground, pointing a finger straight at Yang Chen, stammering, I have to apologize to this guy? Seeing this, the old man glared and asked again, Are you unwilling? Li Ling was so scared he nearly wet his pants, but still tried to salvage some face for himself. At most, he's just a servant of my family. City Lord Li, who had been silent until now, had been quietly calculating. It had been very difficult to invite Liu Yushui here. He couldn't afford to offend him. Li Chenghai spoke up. Linger, quickly apologized to Grandmaster Yang. There's no other way. Even though he was furious, there was nothing he could do. Li Ling harbored resentment in his heart, but still had to respectfully apologize to Yang Chen. This lowly one has offended you. I hope Grandmaster Yang will forgive me. At that moment, Miao Shui and her father looked equally gloomy. Times change in the blink of an eye. Just moments ago, he was good-for-nothing Yang, and now he had become Grandmaster. Yang Chen didn't even glance at Li Ling, clearly showing his disdain. He turned to Liu Yishui and said, Grandmaster, you flatter me. In the future, we can interact more and help each other. Grandmaster Liu happily agreed. Li Chenghai also began to curry favor with Yang Chen's father. He said, Old Yang, I heard that old son in the accounting office is about to retire. Tomorrow, you go over and replace him. It was known that the accounting office was quite profitable. Indeed, if the son was talented, the father would also benefit greatly. Li Ling, however, still couldn't swallow this insult. He swore that he would make Yang Chen pay a very heavy price. As for Miao Shui, she looked at Yang Chen with regret dripping from her, silently blaming herself. Could it be that I chose the wrong person? With a backer secured, Yang Chen leisurely lay down to rest and read history books. He wanted to understand what had happened to everyone over the past 80,000 years. While reading, Yang Chen had to sit up abruptly. Because the sovereign of this continent was not Emperor Jingxin, but had instead become the Hongchen Fairy, Yang Chen quickly flipped through the book to the detailed events. The book recorded that 80,000 years ago, 5 supreme beings joined forces to pacify the war-torn lands and rename the continent Kanglan. Afterwards, Emperor Jingxin harmed the other 4 supreme beings and proclaimed himself hegemon of the continent. Emperor Xingchen's wife, the Hongchen Fairy, in order to avenge her husband, cultivated arduously for 5,000 years, finally killing Emperor Jingxin and unifying the Kanglan continent. Reading up to this point, Yang Chen couldn't read anymore. He closed the book, fury blazing within him. With the soul of a celestial emperor, he swore that this vengeance must be exacted. Scene change to the training grounds. Yang Chen was running, carrying stones on his back, training his stamina, his eyes filled with immense determination. Anyone who got in his way was kicked aside. The onlookers' eyes bulged. They couldn't count how many laps Yang Chen had already run. The reason he was trying so hard was because the Linluo Myriad Manifestations heart method he was using not only accelerated his cultivation speed, but could also strengthen his body. Finally, Yang Chen completed 100 laps. In just a short period, from a 2nd-level martial artist, he was now a 5th-level martial artist. Even the physical education teacher, Guo Fenghong, also known as Guo Xiangshen, had to sigh in admiration and praise. Everyone says Yang Chen is trash, but I don't think it's that simple. Ling Yujiao sat tiredly to one side, resting and sighing to herself. I didn't expect Yang Chen to be able to persevere for so long. The training session ended. Teacher Guo announced, running 100 laps while carrying weight, only Yang Chen could persist until the end. You all should learn more from him. Hearing this, many sneered and jeered. So strong, he can probably go work as a bricklayer in the future. What a brute. Some of the privileged students retorted to Teacher Guo, Sir, what we value most is actual combat strength. What's the use of being stronger? Like Shi Hu here, a 4th-level martial artist, ranked 2nd in the class, with a brilliant future ahead. Yang Chen didn't care. He picked his nose and smiled sinisterly. Bragging right in front of me? I'll make you look foolish in a bit. Teacher Guo suddenly had a good idea. If that's the case, why not have a friendly match? Let me see your true strength. Shi Hu eagerly agreed at once. All right, let's see who's afraid of whom. Just as expected, Teacher Guo called Class 3 down. Upon hearing the call, the whole group appeared as fast as the wind, led by Wu Jing, a very strong individual according to rumors. Even Ling Yujiao would find it difficult to defeat him. Yang Chen turned to Ling Yujiao and asked, Who is Wu Jing? Is this guy very strong? Ling Yujiao's expression was grim. She informed him, Wu Jing is a 5th-level martial artist, top 5 in our grade. Most importantly, he is the grandson of the Martial Artists Association's president and the strongest successor of the Jingxi sword manual among the younger generation. After hearing this, Yang Chen rubbed his chin, thinking, Jingxi sword manual. That name sounds familiar. Teacher Guo announced the rules. The 2 classes would decide who would go up. Losers would step out, and winners would continue to fight until one side conceded. This was a round-robin competition. Yang Chen's class began to discuss tactics, but so loudly that the other side could also hear. We can wear down Wu Jing's stamina and then defeat him. Class 3, upon hearing this, was speechless. The match was declared to begin by Teacher Guo. Wu Jing stepped forward, urging his opponent, "Hurry up, don't waste time. After this fight, I still have to go back and cultivate." While his classmates were feeling annoyed and irked by this Wu Jing, Yang Chen was still trying to recall the Jingxi sword manual. He seemed to have seen it somewhere before. The first person they sent up to face Wu Jing was Shu Hu. However, in the blink of an eye, the young man was nowhere to be seen. The one who had been loudest was now cowering in a corner, praying, "Please don't see me, please don't see me." But how could he hide? The whole group threw Shu Hu onto the stage, despite his struggles against facing Wu Jing. After landing face first, he looked around and saw that everyone trusted and encouraged him. He didn't want to disappoint their expectations. His determination soared. Shu Hu decided to strike first. Preemptive strike is best. He rushed towards Wu Jing with a thunderous punch. However, with just one move, Wu Jing kicked Shu Hu off the stage. He fainted on the spot. This only made him more of a laughingstock for the Class 3 students. Teacher Guo saw that among his students, apart from Ling Yujiao, no one could contend with Wu Jing, so he chose her to be the next to fight. Ling Yujiao didn't refuse and gave a soft yes. Ling Yujiao stepped onto the fighting stage amidst everyone's cheers. Yang Chen stood to one side observing. He silently assessed that Wu Jing hadn't even used his sword yet. He feared that Ling Yujiao was also not his opponent. Ling Yujiao used her combat technique, spiritual energy directly enveloping her body. Seeing this, Wu Jing didn't dare to be careless either. He slowly drew his sword from its scabbard, preparing for battle. Seeing his arrogant attitude, Ling Yujiao didn't waste words and attacked with the butterfly wave palm. The surging aura was powerful, yet with just the 5th stance of the Jingxi sword manual, Startling Awakening, Wu Jing not only shattered Ling Yujiao's palm technique, but also heavily injured her. Overwhelmed by his power, Ling Yujiao had to admit defeat. Class 3 once again had a chance to gloat. On this side, everyone was dejected. Wu Jing was too strong. Even Ling Yujiao couldn't defeat him. On Yang Chen's side, he smiled happily, recalling events from long ago. "I didn't expect that little tail who used to follow me around all day back then would also have a successor now." Yang Chen reminisced. 80,000 years have passed. I wonder how he is now. Is he still crying and whining? At the same time, Wu Jing glanced over and saw Yang Chen shaking his head. He was immediately displeased and pointed straight at him. "You there, are you shaking your head because you're not convinced? If you're so good, come up here and fight me." Yang Chen pointed at himself and asked again, "Are you sure you want to fight me?" Wu Jing arrogantly replied, "Stop talking nonsense. If you're not convinced, I'll beat you until you are. Get up here." Yang Chen didn't want to spoil the other party's mood. He broke off a tree branch to use as a sword. Seeing this, everyone reacted intensely. "What the hell is this good-for-nothing Yang Chen doing up there, disgracing our class?" Ignoring their words, Yang Chen raised the branch and said, "I'll use this branch as my weapon." This seemed to provoke Wu Jing. He blazed with anger and directly drew his sword. Ling Yujiao also didn't trust him. She sighed wearily, thinking, "I thought helping him last time would make him change, but I didn't expect him to be the same old stubborn self." Standing beside Teacher Guo, he didn't think so. "This brat is so confident. Could it be he has some ace up his sleeve?" Yang Chen stood before the ridicule, still calmly rubbing his chin, waiting for Wu Jing to attack. Wu Jing shouted, "You brat! You've really angered me!" Then he launched his Startling Awakening stance. Yang Chen instructed, "Startling Awakening isn't used like that." He unleashed his power, and a stream of energy began to appear. Yang Chen shouted, "Startling Awakening! This is the real Startling Awakening!" Countless sword points emanated from around him. Everyone was astonished. "What?" Looking at the scene before him, Wu Jing could only exclaim, why do you know?" He was completely stunned, and the faces of those in his group turned pale. The Jingxi Sword Manual. Isn't this the exclusive martial art of the Martial Artists Association? Why does he know it? And it's even more powerful than Wu Jing's. A spectator, or Teacher Guo, also questioned himself. Is this brat from the Martial Artists Association? To comprehend this sword move so profoundly, could his talent be even higher than Wu Jing's? Wu Jing was still confident. "So what? I'm a 5th level martial artist. You are, at most, just a 2nd level martial artist. Even if you have some comprehension, what do you have to fight me with?" Yang Chen replied softly, "Who told you I'm only a 2nd level martial artist?" Wu Jing was a little scared. "What do you mean?" Yang Chen didn't explain much, just answered concisely, "Watch this." Seeing the spiritual energy enveloping Yang Chen, Wu Jing's group's jaws dropped. They exclaimed, "He's 5th level!" Everyone buzzed. Wasn't he only 2nd level before? Why has he reached 5th level in just a few days? Yang Chen, you really were hiding your strength. Compared to him, we are the real good-for-nothings. Ling Yujiao also couldn't hide her astonishment. He's actually a 5th level martial artist. and I actually said those things about him before. Wu Jing was still unconvinced. So what? I've practiced the Jingxi sword manual since I was a child. I don't believe you can beat me. He quickly attacked with the 6th stance of the Jingxi sword manual. Startling Dragon. Seeing this, Yang Chen asked, "Is this your trump card, huh?" His eyes sharpened. "Then you're sure to lose." He raised the tiny branch and unleashed his power. Jingxi sword manual. 6th stance. Startling Dragon. Instantly, Yang Chen's red dragon bit Wu Jing's green dragon. He staggered and collapsed to the ground. On this side, Uncle Yang and Ling Yujiao were extremely tense. Wu Jing couldn't believe his eyes. How is this possible?" he stammered. "Grandfather said the final stance, using a sword, is needed to defeat you. How on earth did you do it?" Yang Chen retracted his power and explained, "As long as there is sword intent in your heart, a branch, a mountain, or a stone can all be a sword." Though unwilling, Wu Jing had to grudgingly admit, "You were able to use a branch to execute the final move. My ability is indeed not as good as yours." With that, he dropped his sword and surrendered. Hearing this, Yang Chen found it strange. "Who told you the 6th stance was the last one?" Wu Jing, confused, said, "But grandfather said the Jingxi sword manual only has 6 stances." Yang Chen replied, "Watch carefully," and immediately executed. Jingxi sword manual, 7th stance, Startling Ghost. The next move, Jingxi sword manual, 8th stance, Startling Immortal. Finally, Jingxi sword manual, 9th stance, Startling Evil. Seeing those stances, Wu Jing was so astonished he couldn't utter a word. Yang Chen said indifferently, "This is what you call the Jingxi sword manual." Wu Jing, completely convinced, exclaimed, "I've lost." Around them, a buzz of discussion erupted. Heavens, Wu Jing actually admitted defeat. The number 1 of Class 1 is Yang Chen. Suddenly Yang Chen seems so cool. His aura is so captivating. Feng Heng announced, "I declare Class 1 victorious." Class 1 cheered excitedly. "Awesome! We won! Thanks to you, you're amazing. Yang Chen, you're so cool." Along with that came a flurry of invitations. "There's no one at my house tonight. Come cultivate together." He stammered, "Ladies, please." The situation spun out of control as the girls rushed forward, competing. "You vixen, get aside." One girl proposed, "Yang Chen, come to my house. I just bought a new swimsuit." Yang Chen tried to escape the crowd, sighing, "So scary. If I had known, I wouldn't have stepped onto the stage." Ling Yujiao hesitantly called out, "Yang Chen," then shyly suggested, "Tomorrow is my birthday. Would you like to come over for a meal?" The next day, he thought to himself, "Indeed, strength is the foundation." He was incredibly pleased. After that match, someone like me, who was once despised, is now admired by thousands, just like 80,000 years ago. At the same time, he also thought, since the Jingxi sword has been unsheathed, it's time to meet some old acquaintances. Brief introduction. The Martial Artists Association is the largest guild on the Kangland continent. Those qualified to join are all rare geniuses. From this, one can see how powerful and influential the Martial Artists Association is. Yang Chen thought with satisfaction, truly worth looking forward to. Guards came forward to stop him. "Stand back. This is the Martial Artists Association. Unauthorized personnel are not allowed." He requested, "I want to meet your president, Wu Shanhei. Could you two please inform him?" One of the 2 guards sneered, "Who do you think you are, kid? The president is extremely busy. Do you think you can meet him just because you want to?" The other guard chimed in, "That's right. A brat whose hair hasn't even fully grown yet dares to call the president by his full name." Yang Chen was not afraid. On the contrary, he threatened, "I'll give you 3 minutes to inform Wu Shanhei. Otherwise, you'll bear the consequences yourselves." They angrily shouted, "Insolent! I think you're looking for a beating." Yang Chen said contemptuously, "Overestimating your own abilities." And with just one move, he gently sent the large gate and the guards flying far away. Yang Chen was annoyed. "Why do you always have to force my hand?" The guards, terrified, announced, "Someone! Someone! Someone is breaking into the association." The disciples exclaimed in astonishment, "What? Someone dares to break into the Martial Artists Association?" They told each other, "So audacious. Quick, go catch him." They rushed out en masse. "So bold, you even dare to break into the Martial Artists Association. I think you're tired of living." Faced with this situation, he blurted out, "Damn it, where did so many people come from?" Yang Chen tried to negotiate. "I just want to meet your president, Wu Shanhei." They angrily shouted, "Insolent! How dare you call the president by his name?" They resolutely blocked his way. "Arrogant brat, let's beat him up first," they said. He thought, annoyed, truly troublesome. "Must you force me to act?" Just as both sides were about to clash, a shout stopped them. "What's all this noise about?" Everyone immediately shifted their attention. They bowed their heads in apology. "Greetings, President. Your subordinates have been negligent and disturbed the President. We deserve death." President Wu asked, "What's going on here? Why is there such a big commotion?" A disciple explained, "President, this brat appeared out of nowhere, demanding to see you by name. He even injured the gate guards. We were about to apprehend him." He said indifferently, "Regardless of why you're looking for me, if you hit someone, you must be punished," and ordered, "Men, drag him down and give him 100 strokes." "Ha ha! Brat, you're dead for sure. The president has spoken, you're done for." Yang Chen spoke up. "Old Wu, so many years have passed, yet your temper is still as impetuous as ever." Hearing this sentence, President Wu was startled and spun around, his voice full of doubt. You are?" He calmly replied, "Let's talk inside." The disciples were furious. "Who do you think you are, huh? You still want to order the president around? How dare you offend the president? This time you're really dead." But unexpectedly he shouted, "All of you, shut up!" and even brandished a move to warn them. At the same time, President Wu also instructed, "From today onwards, whenever this Mr. wishes to enter the association, the main gate must always be wide open. Do you hear me clearly?" Although they didn't understand what was happening, they still obeyed. Watching the two figures disappear, they wondered, who on earth is this brat? Why is the president so respectful to him? Could he be the descendant of some hidden clan? But no matter how formidable, he couldn't be more powerful than the president of the Martial Artists Association, right? The room seemed to fall into silence. Yang Chen sat there, fiddling with his teacup. After a long while, he finally spoke. "Sit down. What are you standing there for?" President Wu didn't dare to look directly at him and said in a low voice, "No, I dare not." Yang Chen put down his teacup with a clink. "Initially, among my 4 adopted children, you were the most sensible and also the most obedient to me." Then he placed his hand on the man's shoulder, reminiscing. "What a pity, brat. You've grown old too." President Wu couldn't hold it in anymore. 2 streams of tears fell. "Godfather, you finally returned." Yang Chen comforted him. All right, don't cry anymore. You're already tens of thousands of years old. Still sniffling like this? What a disgrace if people see you." Hearing this, he wiped his tears with his hand and replied softly, "Yes, Godfather." Yang Chen stood up, his eyes full of pride. "This Martial Artists Association was my initial dream, and you have actually realized it." President Wu then worried, "If adoptive father doesn't like it, I will immediately disband the association." Yang Chen looked down and replied, "No need. You've done very well." Then he turned his head back. "Oh, right, eldest and fourth. How are they doing?" President Wu recalled and said, "Eldest brother, 60,000 years ago, when he was still known as the Saint of Medicine, retired into seclusion. Second brother, 40,000 years ago, founded the Pill Refiners Guild in the Central Continent." He continued, "Fourth brother roams the 4 corners of the world, unopposed, and is revered by the world as the underworld god emperor." After hearing this, Yang Chen's eyes were full of admiration. "Not bad, all are very skilled." He thought to himself, "Back then you were all just little kids, and now you've all become so formidable." Old memories surfaced in his mind. 4 children playing, the third child, himself, crying and complaining, "Godfather, second brother snatched my ball." The second child stuck out his tongue teasingly. The fourth child, "Godfather, I want to learn martial arts." The eldest child, "Godfather, I'm hungry." Remembering these memories, the corners of Yang Chen's lips curled up. He leaned forward and said, "What about you, brat? With your strength, you don't need to stay in such a small place." President Wu's face turned red. 80,000 years ago, adoptive father suddenly disappeared. We 4 brothers searched for you everywhere, but even after searching for 20,000 years, we couldn't find any news. I only happened to pass by this place and met the woman I love. So," Yang Chen smiled lightly, "it seems you children have really grown up." President Wu asked with some concern, "On the contrary, adoptive father, how did you become like this?" Yang Chen simply replied calmly, "A lot has happened. It can't be explained clearly in a moment." Then, as if remembering something, he instructed, "That's right, you are not to tell anyone about my return. Understood?" President Wu cupped his hands and replied, "I understand, sir. I absolutely will not tell anyone." Yang Chen leaned against the railing and said, "I am currently studying at Heavenly Star Academy. If you need anything, you can come find me there." President Wu found it a bit hard to believe. "You're attending school?" He thought to himself, "Once the strongest emperor on the continent, now he has to go to school? Who would believe it if it were told?" Yang Chen asked again, "What, is there something wrong?" President Wu scratched his head awkwardly. Nothing. I suddenly remembered that I own 70% of the shares in Heavenly Star Academy. Adoptive father, if you have any requests, just tell little C directly." "All right then," Yang Chen immediately said. "I do have one request, but it has nothing to do with the school." President Wu stammered, You go ahead and say it." Yang Chen's expression was serious. "I want to take the Jingxi sword." Inside another spacious room, President Wu spoke, "Adoptive father, this is the Jingxi sword you need. The evil aura of this sword is heavier than before. Even I find it difficult to control." Yang Chen reached out to take it, replying, "All right." As soon as he held it, he unsheathed the sword with a shing sound. A resounding hum emanated from the sword. He snorted coldly. "An inanimate object dares to resist me." His eyes turned cold as he quat. Silence! President Wu was astonished. Truly worthy of being adoptive father, with just one sentence he can subdue it. Yang Chen turned his head back. It's getting dark. I have to go back. I'll come visit you when I have time later. President Wu cupped his hands. Adoptive father, take care. Yang Chen took out a red booklet and called out, Oh right, these are the last 3 stanzas of the Jinxie sword manual. You keep it. Saying so, he tossed the booklet into President Wu's hands. He opened it, his eyes wide. This is... All this time, I thought the Jinxie sword manual only had 6 stanzas. Yang Chen didn't turn his head, just said softly, Practice hard. I'm heading back first. President Wu bowed in salute. Many thanks, adoptive father. In the evening, as soon as he got home, Yang Chen's voice rang out. I'm back. As he opened the door, he was surprised. Huh? And asked doubtfully, Master Liu, why are you here? Yishui cupped his hands and smiled lightly. Good evening, Teacher Yang. Uncle Yang gritted his teeth. Where did you run off to after school, brat? He walked over, grabbed his ear and scolded, making Grandmaster Liu wait for so long. Hurry up and apologize to him. Yang Chen cried out miserably, Ow, ow, ow! Yishui gently spoke. To be able to wait for Teacher Yang is my honor. Senior Yang, please don't be like this. Uncle Yang pointed his finger, his tone aggressive. Grandmaster Liu, no need to be so polite. If this stinky brat has done anything wrong, just hit him. Yishui hurriedly waved his hands. I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare. Yang Chen cried inwardly, suffering but unable to speak. For better or worse, I was once the strongest emperor. Can't I keep a little face? Yishui bowed his head and cupped his hands. To disturb you so late at night, please forgive me, Grandmaster Yang. I've come this time because I have a matter I'd like to ask for Grandmaster Yang's help with. Before he could say the next sentence, a loud thump was heard from outside the door. Cheng Hai said loudly, Grandmaster Liu, when did you arrive? He quickly walked in. Why didn't you inform me so I could send servants to escort you? Li Ling also hurriedly chimed in. That's right, master. When did you arrive? You should have said so earlier so I could personally come and pick you up. Yishui angrily shouted. Who allowed you two in here? Can't you see that Grandmaster Yang and I are discussing matters? Get out, quickly. Cheng Hai was stunned for a moment by the shouting. Li Ling stammered, Master! Seeing the two still standing there dumbfounded, Yishui nearly lost all patience. His face darkened. A cold light emanated from his whole body. Didn't you hear what I said? The two were instantly startled and flustered. Yes, we'll get out right away. They both tumbled out of the door, then scrambled to their feet and ran for their lives. Run quickly! Yishui put on a subservient look. To have Grandmaster Yang witness such a scene, I hope I haven't disturbed you. Shall I continue then? Uncle Yang said generously. Chener, Grandmaster Liu, you two go ahead and discuss. I'll go do some work first. As he turned away, he smiled proudly. Chener has truly become capable. Yang Chen replied, All right, father, you go to bed first. Yishui also cupped his hands in salute. Senior, take care. Yang Chen crossed his arms and said coldly, What is it? Yishui hurriedly replied, It's like this. In a few days, it will be our Pill Refiners Guild's triennial promotion day. We are currently 4th grade. If it can be promoted to 5th grade, there will be many benefits. He continued, But we are unable to refine 5th grade pills, so we wanted to ask for your help. Hearing this, Yang Chen bluntly refused. You and I have only met once by chance. I have no obligation to help you. Please leave. Seeing him about to leave, Yishui hastily waved his hand. Wait. He tried hard to persuade. As long as you can help me refine a 5th grade pill, then in the future, you can take all the materials of the guild freely. Hearing this, Yang Chen's eyes immediately lit up, and he began to calculate. It just so happens I need pills to improve my strength. Wouldn't this save a lot of money? Seeing that he was somewhat swayed, Yishui continued, Right now, you need a large amount of resources to improve your cultivation. This cooperation will benefit both sides. Yang Chen turned back and calmly replied, What you say is very reasonable. So what should I do? The old man proposed, Monday morning, I will come to the Li family to pick you up. How about it? Yang Chen pondered, I have to go to school on Monday and the final exams are approaching. It seems I'll have to ask for some help with a runny nose, a euphemism for needing a favor. Yishui asked anxiously, I wonder if that's possible? Yang Chen took out a pen from his person. If that's the case, he scribbled a few lines on a piece of paper, then handed it over. Master Liu, please deliver this letter to President Wu Shanhei of the Martial Artists Association for me. The old man respectfully said, Yes, of course. Yang Chen glanced sideways. It's getting late. You should go back and rest early. Creak. He closed the door. Yishui, outside, called in, Grandmaster Yang, sleep well. See you on Monday morning. He held the piece of paper, his heart filled with boundless joy. Truly worthy of being Grandmaster Yang, he even knows such a prominent figure as the president of the Martial Artists Association. I must cling tightly to Grandmaster Yang. At the Martial Artists Association, President Wu sat on his chair, lost in thought. adoptive father should be home by now. Suddenly, a loud cry interrupted his thoughts. Report! A servant knelt and reported. President Liu Yishui of the Pill Refiners Guild has sent a letter saying it's for someone else to deliver. His eyes flashed. For someone else to deliver? Could it be? His whole body tensed. What important directive could this be? Slaying a dragon? Beheading a king? Or annihilating a country? He walked down, took the letter from the servant's hand, and opened it. The letter contained only 2 short sentences. After reading it, President Wu's tense demeanor immediately sagged. He slammed the table, helplessly. So it's just asking for leave, huh? The servant asked worriedly. President, what's wrong? He just replied, it's nothing. Then softly instructed, you immediately go to Heavenly Star Academy and tell Principal Liu to grant a student named Yang Chen leave on Monday. Just say I said so. The servant, puzzled, repeated, huh? Ask for leave? President Wu raised his voice. Yes, tell Principal Liu if he doesn't handle this matter properly, he shouldn't expect to keep his position as principal anymore. The servant hurriedly cupped his hands and accepted the order. Yes, sir. That evening, at Heavenly Star Academy, a clear voice rang out. Little darling, where are you running off to? Little May giggled. Principal, come and catch me. Principal Liu, with a sly expression, if I catch you, I'll have to punish you. Catching her, he reached out to pinch her lightly, then realized something was wrong. These clothes, they don't seem to belong to my little darling, he said as he removed his blindfold. After removing it, he was terrified, startled, and cursed. Who are you? The servant said with a cold face, Principal Liu, I am here under the orders of the president of the Martial Artists Association to deliver you a supreme command. Principal Liu was terrified. President Wu's command? He cried inwardly, it's over. Could it be that my life as a principal is about to end? The servant calmly continued, that's right. Your school has a student named Yang Chen. On Monday, he needs to go out. You are to immediately approve his leave. The old man scratched his head, confused. Huh? Leave? The servant's eyes turned cold. Is there a problem? Principal Liu hurriedly complied. No problem. I'll go do it right away. Whoosh, whoosh, shouts echoed throughout the building. All department heads and class heads, assemble immediately at the top floor. The summoned people ran anxiously, asking, what happened? I don't know either. Hurry up and gather there. I'm afraid something big has happened. Quick, quick, quick! The next day, Yang Chen looked around doubtfully, observing. He searched with his eyes. Where's Ling Yujiao? Didn't she say it was her birthday and invite me for a meal? Are we gathering here? Ling Yujiao waved her hand and called out, Yang Chen, we're over here. She enthusiastically said, come over quickly. We've been waiting for you for a long time. Yang Chen waved back and replied, so sorry. I was looking for you just now, but couldn't find you. Kong Qing spoke up, asking, Jiao Jiao, who is this? The girls also chimed in. The one in purple said, that's right. Jiao Jiao, who is this man? The one in pink shyly said, he's quite handsome too. The one in yellow teased with a smile. Could he be your new boyfriend? Ling Yujiao quickly turned her head to clarify. Don't talk nonsense. This is Yang Chen, my desk mate. We're just ordinary friends. Yang Chen smiled and greeted, hello. Hearing this, Kong Qing was startled. Desk mates for a long time? What if feelings develop over time? No, I have to make a show of strength to him. Thinking this, he extended his hand to greet. Hello, I am Si Kong Qing. He also smiled and shook hands. Hello, I am Yang Chen. Suddenly, his eyes narrowed slightly. A surge of power emanated, enveloping their arms. Kong Qing smirked smugly. Brat, being squeezed like this doesn't feel good, does it? While the two men were tense on one side, the girls on the other side were chatting happily. Kong Qing chuckled lightly. Brother Yang, what's wrong with you? In his heart, he thought, let me give this brat a little taste first. Later, I'll warn him to stay away from Ling Yujiao. Yang Chen chuckled to himself. Playing dirty, huh? Then don't blame me. Then he spoke. Nothing, Brother Sikong. What's wrong with you? He squeezed his hand tightly. This time, Kong Qing's face turned slightly pale. Why did his hand strength suddenly become so strong? His face began to turn purple as he stammered, I'm quite all right. But in his heart, he was cursing. Why is this brat's hand strength so strong? Why are you two shaking hands for so long? Aren't we going in to eat? Ling Yujiao looked at the two men in front of her, shaking hands with sparks seemingly flying. Sikong Qing's hand was trembling. Yang Chen released his hand. Brother Sikong is too enthusiastic. You held my hand so tight it hurts. Yang Chen continued to smile and say, Is that right, Brother Sikong? Sikong Qing clenched his hand behind his back and forced a laugh. Anyway, she's Ling Yujiao's classmate. Of course, I have to be a little enthusiastic. Sikong Qing's hand was already red and swollen, looking very painful. Ah, my hand! You stinky brat! Just, you wait for me. Sikong Qing cursed silently in his head. He could only cry inwardly. His hand hurt too much. Sikong Qing and Yang Chen simultaneously looked towards Ling Yujiao's back. She had her back to them, walking forward. Stop messing around. Let's go in and eat first. Yang Chen looked in the direction Ling Yujiao was heading. He noticed the magnificent scenery ahead and thought to himself, such a luxurious restaurant. A meal here must cost at least 1,000 gold coins. This girl's background is not simple. Scene changed to a private room inside. A large table was already full of dishes. Yang Chen, which family do you belong to? A girl in purple clothes opposite Yang Chen asked, making Yang Chen look blank. Se Kongqing looked at him. She continued, My name is Lu Xiaoming. My father is General Xie Xianfeng of the Empire. The girl in orange clothes next to Xiaomeng introduced herself. My name is Gu Nianian, eldest daughter of the Gujia Empire's Gu family. The girl in yellow clothes next to Gu Nianian followed. Jin Kier, daughter of the Minister of Works. Yang Chen, sitting opposite them, looked quite awkward. Yang Chen tried to force a smile. He thought, are they showing off their fathers? However, he quickly adjusted his facial expression to a cheerful one and began to introduce himself. Yang Chen, my father is a servant of the Li family. The three girls who had just eagerly introduced themselves to Yang Chen were now all stunned, unable to believe it. Surprised to hear about Yang Chen's background, Ling Yujiao quickly coughed a few times to break the awkwardness. She blushed slightly, feeling embarrassed by the situation. Si Kongqing, beside Yang Chen, curled his lips into a contemptuous sneer. He laughed inwardly. So he's a dirt poor fellow. Let's see how I deal with you later. Ling Yujiao, what are you doing? Asking us to eat with the son of a servant, Jin Keier asked. Gu Nianian pretended to sigh. I thought he was some important figure. Lu Xiaomeng also quickly chimed in. No wonder he's dressed so shabbily. The tone of all three was sarcastic and disdainful. Ling Yujiao quickly spoke up, now very embarrassed, her eyebrows slightly furrowed. What nonsense are you all talking? Ling Yujiao quickly looked towards Yang Chen and apologized softly. So sorry, Yang Chen. Yang Chen also looked towards Ling Yujiao. They don't mean any harm. Don't mind them. It's okay. Yang Chen didn't care much. He crossed his arms in front of his chest, a faint smile still on his lips, thinking, a bunch of brats. What's there to compare? Jiao Jiao, happy birthday. Suddenly, Si Kongqing stood up, holding a beautifully decorated box that looked very luxurious. This is the gift I carefully prepared for you. Si Kongqing opened the box in his hand. Inside was a sparkling necklace, looking incredibly beautiful. She looked surprised by the birthday gift Si Kongqing gave Ling Yujiao. Heavens, is this the body-protecting magical artifact, Angel's Tear? Lu Xiaomeng seemed knowledgeable. I heard there's only one such necklace in the entire Qingfeng Empire. Gu Nianian exclaimed, her eyes sparkling, her heart fluttering. Jin Keier was equally surprised, and it seemed she also liked the gift he gave Ling Yujiao. And it's very expensive. I heard it cost tens of thousands of gold coins. Ling Yujiao looked at the beautiful gift in front of her, put a hand to her mouth, and smiled faintly. Thank you. Si Kongqing chuckled inwardly, contemptuously thinking, Brat, you poor thing. I bet you've never even seen a body-protecting magical artifact in your entire life, right? His whole body trembled slightly, his eyes darting towards Yang Chen. He thought Yang Chen was also looking at the gift, his face observant. Is this a high-grade protective magical artifact? He kept staring at the sparkling, radiant necklace, thinking, but the craftsmanship is too poor. Yang Chen quickly realized something and silently criticized it. Suddenly, Si Kongqing spoke up. Brother Yang Chen, what gift did you prepare for Jiao Jiao? Yang Chen quickly looked towards him. Ling Yujiao also focused her attention on them. It's the thought that counts. The gift isn't important. Everyone, eat first. Ling Yujiao gently waved her hand, thinking, Yang Chen's situation isn't good. I shouldn't make things difficult for him. Yang Chen spoke up. That won't do. It's the class president's birthday. Of course, there must be a gift. He took out a brown drawstring bracelet with a square green quartz charm from his sleeve. Ling Yujiao looked at him, her gaze softening. When the gift was placed next to Si Kongqing's luxurious gift box, the stark difference made her momentarily embarrassed. The three girls beside them immediately sneered. Is your bracelet from a street stall? It's so ugly, it probably doesn't even cost 10 gold coins. Yang Chen remained calm, not reacting, just standing still with his arms crossed. Ling Yujiao spoke up. All right, that's Yang Chen's kind thought. You all stop talking. Si Kongqing proudly presented his gift. Jiao Jiao, accept my gift. But she returned it. This gift is too precious. I can't accept it. Then she took Yang Chen's bracelet and put it on her wrist, stunning Si Kongqing, while Yang Chen smiled. Ling Yujiao also smiled, blushing slightly. Thank you, Yang Chen, he replied. You're welcome. Si Kongqing wouldn't give up. Sister, think about it again. Yang Chen glanced at him. Half joking, half serious, brother, giving such a precious gift. Are you proposing marriage? He flusteredly denied. I didn't think that. Yang Chen said indifferently. What you're thinking? Do I need to spell it out? Ling Yujiao helplessly put her hand to her forehead. All right, we finished eating. Let's go out for a walk. Everyone stood up. Yang Chen slowly said, Class president, I have something to do, so I can't go with you. She was a little surprised, but still nodded. Then see you at school. Everyone watched Yang Chen's departing figure. He thought to himself, I'm tens of thousands of years old. Why bother with children? Behind them, the three girls whispered, criticizing Yang Chen and even Ling Yujiao. Zhao Jiao really doesn't know what's good for her. That bracelet is both plain and cheap. Si Kongqing changed the subject. I know a very interesting shop nearby. Ling Yujiao glanced at him. All right, let's go. Scene changed to a street. Ling Yujiao began to feel suspicious. Why has it been so long, and we haven't arrived yet? Suddenly, three figures appeared using lightness kung fu. Si Kongqing was still engrossed in conversation and didn't notice. A purple light flashed. Three assassins landed, blocking their path. They threw something towards Si Kongqing and Ling Yujiao. Si Kongqing recoiled in alarm, while Ling Yujiao raised her hand to block. A scream rang out. A group of assassins approached, threatening, Miss Ling, please come with us. The three girls with Ling Yujiao worried, so strong. They're at least 9th level martial artists. We're no match for them at all. What should we do? Ling Yujiao immediately questioned, What do you want? Si Kongqing's voice trembled slightly. Don't you come near. Our fathers are all high officials of the empire. The lead assassin, with an annoyed voice, brandished his saber in front of them. You talk too much, brat. He rushed towards Kongqing. Get out of my way. Just in time, Si Kongqing took the necklace from the wooden box and held it up in front of him, creating a barrier against the attack. Angel's tear. Block it for me. He sneered at the assassin. It blocked it. Not a waste of my tens of thousands. Ling Yujiao and the other three girls were also surprised. Truly worthy of being a protective magical artifact. It's indeed powerful. Si Kongqing, hang in there. We'll go get help. Zhao Jiao, you should have accepted that gift earlier. The masked man snorted coldly, observing from the side, his eyes full of killing intent. Flames appeared on the blazing leaf saber. The assassin slashed fiercely at Kongqing's barrier, and it immediately shattered. Kongqing fell backward. What? It broke? The masked man brought his saber close to Kongqing's face. That flashy thing couldn't even withstand one blow. Seeing this, Kongqing panicked, waving his hands, sweating profusely. The person you're looking for is Ling Yujiao. It has nothing to do with me. Don't kill me. As soon as he finished speaking, he was kicked away by the masked man. Coward! The lead assassin approached Ling Yujiao, reaching out to touch her. Miss Ling, come with us, she cried out in fear. Don't! Suddenly, the ring activated. Several bolts of lightning surrounded it. The masked man, seeing this, wondered and touched it. What is this? Before he could reach it, the ring transformed into a dragon illusion, piercing through each assassin one by one, sending them flying. The dragon then returned behind Ling Yujiao. Even she was surprised by this miracle. The three accompanying girls were full of praise. What a powerful protective magical artifact. This is 1,000 times more powerful than Angel's Tear. And we were even laughing at Yang Chen earlier. The assassins, seeing that things didn't look good. Damn it, the intelligence was wrong. Retreat. They conjured a formation and disappeared in a blaze of fire. Ling Yujiao just stood there, stunned, looking at Yang Chen's ring. Yang Chen leisurely strolled through the bustling street. He calculated, my current top priority is to upgrade my level. It seems I have to buy more medicinal ingredients to refine pills. Thinking of this, he frowned slightly. I don't need the jade glaze tempering fire pill anymore. The most suitable for me now is the great treasure pill. After using it, I might even break through to 6th level martial artist. Yang Chen stopped in front of the Qin Medical Hall. Ahead was a long queue of people. I heard the owner of this medical hall is an imperial physician. The medicinal ingredients I need should all be here. He slowly stepped into the shop. It was extremely bustling inside, with 2 rows of people on either side, queuing up to see the doctor and buy medicine. The sounds of the crowd mingled and overlapped. Customer, here's your medicine. Imperial physician, please see what illness I have. Imperial physician Li was taking the patient's pulse. He asked, lately have your limbs often felt weak? Do you sweat a lot and still feel cold even when covered with a blanket? The person opposite him lavishly praised, Imperial physician Li is truly a divine doctor. You're not wrong at all. After the diagnosis, he gave the person a piece of paper. It's just a common cold. Take medicine according to this. You'll be cured in less than 3 days. The person took the paper, their face full of joy, thanking him incessantly. Many thanks, divine doctor. Many thanks, divine doctor. Imperial physician Li gestured for the next person. The people in the queue behind him praised endlessly. Imperial physician Li, from prescribing medicine to curing illnesses, he truly deserves to be called a divine doctor. Imperial physician Li comes here to diagnose illnesses whenever he has time. Such a kind heart and medical ethics. Fortunately, we have Imperial physician Li to protect us, so we can be healthy. Yang Chen mused, this person's medical skills are ordinary, but he excels in diligence. His reputation isn't bad. At this moment, it was his turn to get medicine. Customer, what medicinal ingredients do you need? Yang Chen smiled lightly. List them. I need 1 cinnamon bark, 3 cold heart grasses, 1 ginseng root, and 2 marrow cleansing flowers. After hearing this, the shop assistant just said, "All right, customer, please wait a moment," then busily went to find and weigh the medicinal ingredients. Soon he had packed them into a small parcel and handed it to Yang Chen. "Customer, here's your medicine." Suddenly, at this moment, a voice shouted from outside. A mother was seen carrying a young boy running in. "Help! Imperial Physician Li!" Her face was full of anxiety, her voice urgent. "Imperial Physician Li! Imperial Physician Li! I beg you, save my son!" Imperial Physician Li immediately gestured. "Here, lay him down here." Someone helped her place the boy on a cloth mat. He stood observing and asked, "What happened?" The mother trembled and cried, I don't know either. He's been like this since this morning." She suddenly knelt and begged, "Imperial Physician Li, I only have this one son. I beg you, save him." The people around comforted her. "Sister-in-law, don't worry. Imperial Physician Li has even treated the Emperor. With him here, it will be all right. The little boy will be absolutely fine under Imperial Physician Li's care." "That's right. Imperial Physician Li is a divine doctor." The mother gently wiped her tears. After taking the pulse, Imperial Physician Li stroked his beard and diagnosed, "The pulse is complex, breathing is chaotic, and the body is sometimes hot and sometimes cold." Speaking up to this point, he frowned and said no more. Imperial Physician Li found it hard to remain calm. "I don't know what symptoms these are." The surrounding people buzzed. "What? Even Imperial Physician Li doesn't know what illness this is? Then what should be done? Could it be that this child is beyond saving? If even Imperial Physician Li can't diagnose it, how can anyone else?" The mother repeatedly kowtowed to him. "Imperial Physician Li, I kowtow to you. I beg you, save my son. You must save him." He only showed a helpless expression. "Although I don't know what illness it is, it looks like yellow fever. I'll prescribe a few doses of medicine. Take them home and let the boy try them." The mother had no choice but to accept. Then, "Many thanks, Imperial Physician Li." Gig. Just as the mother was about to carry the boy away, a voice stopped them. "No need to get the medicine. This is not yellow fever." Everyone turned their heads to look. Imperial Physician Li was puzzled. "What did you say?" Someone also spoke up critically. "Brat, what nonsense are you spouting? This is Imperial Physician Li's conclusion." A girl standing near Yang Chen, though a bit shy, still pointed her finger and scolded him. "That's right. Do you understand medical skills better than Imperial Physician Li? You're truly a troublemaker. Human life is very important. This child doesn't need someone like you causing trouble." Imperial Physician Li wasn't angry either. He asked back, "You say this isn't yellow fever. Then what is your basis?" Yang Chen calmly walked over. "Everyone knows the symptoms of yellow fever are vomiting, dizziness, and weakness in the limbs. But this child only has symptoms similar to yellow fever." Imperial Physician Li continued to press. "Then do you know what illness the boy has?" Yang Chen confidently replied, "Of course, this is cholera." Imperial Physician Li was surprised. "What? How do you know?" He didn't accept this answer. "On what basis do you say this is cholera?" Yang Chen wasn't willing to back down either. "This child's symptoms look like yellow fever, but you've forgotten one important factor." Then he reached out towards the boy, his hand forcibly opening the boy's eye. "Look." Imperial Physician Li observed the constricted pupils, full of blood streaks. This is indeed cholera." Yang Chen turned to remind him. "The medicine for cholera and yellow fever are completely opposite. If this child takes the medicine you prescribed, he will surely die." Imperial Physician Li couldn't refute. This, Yang Chen directly cut him off. "As a physician, you prescribed medicine recklessly without clearly understanding the symptoms. Are you ultimately saving people or harming them?" The critical words rang in Imperial Physician Li's ears. "Are you ultimately saving people or harming them? Poor medical skills will only harm people. Saving people or harming people?" He listened but couldn't answer. "Me?" Then he helplessly knelt before Yang Chen. Imperial Physician Li had realized his mistake. "I was wrong. The divine doctor's teachings are correct." The surrounding people couldn't help but be surprised, staring wide-eyed. Imperial Physician Li is kneeling before this person? Could it be that his medical skills are even more formidable than Imperial Physician Li's? We've all misjudged, right? Yang Chen held Imperial Physician Li's shoulder and comforted him. "It's good to correct mistakes when you know them. The urgent matter now is to save the person first." However, he only hesitated and replied that, "Although I know about cholera, it's an incurable disease. I can only help alleviate it, not cure it." The crowd asked in alarm, "An incurable disease? Then isn't this child doomed to die?" "That's right. I've also heard that cholera seems to be an incurable disease. The poor child." The mother became even more heartbroken, crying, "My son, if you die, I can't live on either."